Hello, this is a quick video I want to make before I go out to the stables. You see, I'm wearing my stable kit. I don't even know if I can wipe the background when I'm wearing a shirt of this colour. So if you can see a background behind me, you'll know I couldn't edit it properly. Now, I've just uploaded a video about children, and I am going to make reference to that in this video. But in this video, really, I'm going to be asking a question about Afghanistan, a question which I haven't heard anyone else ask. So I'm going to ask it. Now, before I do, I just want to remember, which is what I didn't remember in the last video, to ask you to click the like button, because it actually does help. I didn't think it did. I thought that was a bit of a myth. But certainly things have changed in my video reach since people have started making more of an issue of clicking the like button. And since none of the previous videos I made have been monetized because of the subjects I was dealing with, reach is all I can expect. And so, you know, that's important. Right. I want to get back to the question. First of all, I want to say that I do not believe that that we should be allowing our young people to die in Afghanistan. The second thing I want to point out to you is this reference to the previous video. I did make reference at that point to a war on children, which I am convinced started in China with their war on babies, which limited parents to one child, which in theory was probably at least a theoretically good idea, but then it involved some horrendous examples of child murder. And if we take some notice of Richard Dawkins' theory that there is a virus that can circle the planet, he called it a virus of the mind, then this war on children started in China, but it's gone all over the world now. And in my last video, I did make reference to that in respect of this craze for sterilizing our children and subjecting them to medical experiments in the form of this transgender fashion that seems to be running riot, far worse than COVID, through our educational and, well, just all our establishments, really. I think even the BBC is now telling everybody who puts their name up on the BBC website for one reason or another to put their pronouns. All right, well, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm talking about Afghanistan. Afghanistan has turned into a flashpoint of infection. There's, you know, the point zero, patient zero of the world. And it will not stop with Afghanistan. We pull our soldiers out of Afghanistan, but we will be fighting that war elsewhere, because they are the focus of an infection which will traverse the planet in the same way as the war on children has done. How do we stop it? Well, certainly having our young people patrolling the hills of Afghanistan was not a good military solution, as we can see from the number of people who were killed. And so it also the amount of money that was wasted. Now, it's possible that with the Americans and the British and all the other countries out of there, the Chinese might go in and use far less tactful methods than even the Americans have used. It might be that the Pakistanis who have been supporting them all this time will now start to control them a bit more. It may be. However, what I am interested in is why the Americans saw it necessary to pull out completely. they held on to Berlin for all those years. And during that time, they managed to make Berlin a sort of place where people could live. I am surprised that they didn't think that this was an option with Kabul. You could put a wall around Kabul. You could fly in supplies. You could make that a place of refuge. Because there are many people, they're throwing scalding water onto the faces of female teachers. You could have given such people sanctuary in a walled off area, not the rest of Afghanistan, which is very difficult and always has been very difficult to control because of the geography. But surely there could have been a place of safety in that country where people, intellectuals, teachers, doctors, those sorts of people could take refuge and be protected with very little loss of, or none at all, of life from the Western powers who had armies there. So that's my question, and so perhaps somebody who might be watching this can tell me why this couldn't be done, why there was this embarrassing debacle. I want to tell you something else, actually, that's just occurred to me. When Trump was elected, I had a friend, we go way back. She was in, we were, first year students together in university, and we've been great friends through our marriages, our children. We've always kept in touch, even when we've moved out of each other's cities. But we did go separate ways academically, and my friend got more into stuff that got her in contact with a lot of American, what I'd call New York feminists. And she told me after Trump was elected that most of these people were writing to her about how frightened they were now that Trump had been elected. And I said that her friends were being neurotic and she was being ridiculous. We have our differences of opinion on that. After Biden got in, and with all the riots going on, not stopping in America, I was chatting with my friend again, and I said, I wonder what your New York feminists are feeling now. Do they still feel unsafe, or do they feel safer under the Biden administration? And she said, well, I haven't heard from them, but they may. I don't know about their opinion, but I certainly feel safer under the, she's not in America, but I feel safer with Biden in charge. And, I didn't say anything, and she might even see this, so she'll know who I'm talking about. I couldn't believe how naive she was, and I'm not going to make an argument with her about that. But I do want to point something out. I just spoke about the virus of the mind, didn't I? Well, Biden pulled out of Afghanistan in an embarrassingly disorganized way. It's shown America up for a rotten plank to lean against. And it's shown how quickly America can desert people who have been trying their hardest to work against tremendous odds. I mean, the intellectuals in Afghanistan, the translators, the teachers, the scientists, and, the ones who stayed in Kabul and wanted to try and make a go of it, they have all been abandoned. And nobody will forget this, and the world will not be a safe place because of that. But even worse, Afghanistan is going to be a centre of world terrorism. And that's going to go all over the world as well. And with nothing there, as I said, they should have had some sort of a station in Kabul, maybe around Kabul, from where they could go if they needed to, where people could take refuge, and from where America could actually do stuff with a base there. And the fact that they've just abandoned the entire country and they have abandoned the world to a serious infection which will not go away now and cannot be controlled. So anyway, that's what I'm saying to my friend. You shouldn't be feeling safer now with Biden. The infection that he has allowed to suppurate in Afghanistan will finally seep out to infect all of us one way or the other, sooner or later. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.